recently at Fraserway RV in Abbotsford checking out this 4x4 motorhome that I was interested in checking out. But while I was there, I decided to take a look at the NOBO, the No Boundaries trailer. Now, most people know I bought an Ember trailer. I bought the Ember back in 2022. I bought it for a few reasons. I mean, I bought it for a lot of reasons, but the three main reasons I bought it were the heavy-duty construction, so I could handle going off-road here in BC, to handle all the bumps, the potholes, and the water bars that you have to cross here in BC. I wanted one that didn't have a rubber roof because I've had problems tearing the rubber roof, dealing with branches and things like that. It really caused me a problem on my last RV. And so it doesn't have a rubber roof. I really like that. And the third thing was that it had this Curt Independent Suspension. I really wanted independent suspension, and this new Curt Independent Suspension, which had just come out and was premiered on the Embers, I believe, in 2022, that stood out to me as a game changer. That, to me, is what really made me want an Ember. I had gone through multiple axles on my previous two RVs, and I did not want to deal with another bent axle because I keep hitting these rough roads and going off-road with my RV. Now, at the time, I did look at different models, including the No Boundaries model. I looked at Geo Pro. I looked at the Black Series. Don't get me started about Black Series. And really, I settled on the Ember. There were other models, and I'll bring this up in a minute. There were other models that I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at the Winnebago Hike, but at the time, here in British Columbia, there was no access to that. I don't live in Central California anymore, where I had access to every single RV that is sold in the US market. Up here, unfortunately, there's less choice. There's simply less dealers, and there's less people, and it's just less choice. That's just one of the realities of living in a country that's not the US. So it was important that I purchased from what I could buy locally. I won't buy an RV unless it's local anymore, if I'm buying it brand new. And so the Ember ended up being one of the ones I could get locally, and I fell in love with it, happy I got it. But that's not what we're here to talk about necessarily today. Today we're here to talk about the new 2026 NOBO 19.3, the No Boundaries full double axle, Curt Independent Suspension, off-road capable trailer that I just really have taken a liking to. And I'm looking at this really wondering, if I had to buy a new trailer today in 2025, would I still buy an Ember or would I buy a NOBO? By the end of this video, I'll explain why I would go in one direction or the other. But first, let's take a look at the NOBO. Inside the 2026 No Boundaries 19.3, the first thing you'll notice is how open this trailer feels. Even though it doesn't really have a slide, everything's compact, efficient, and laid out with purpose. Now up front is a true 60 by 80 inch residential Murphy queen bed. It's not an RV queen, it's a real queen size bed. Now, during the day, it folds up and it reveals this comfortable sofa. It's got end tables on both sides. You have USB-C and standard outlets, overhead cabinets, and hanging wardrobes with motion lighting. There also is small cubbies, so you can put your glasses if you use a CPAP machine, your phones, water bottle, things like that. If we go look at the kitchen, the layout is pretty generous for a bunk model. You get a large 12-volt refrigerator that cools quickly and offers plenty of space. There's an air fryer, and I really like that. I really like this new convection combo air fryer microwaves that you're seeing. I really wish I had one of those. This allows you to cook real meals without needing a full oven. The sink is deep. It's a single bowl with a residential faucet and a built-in cup washer. The storage includes multiple drawers, overhead cabinets, and a good-sized cabinet under the sink. There's also a flip-up counter extension for a little extra prep space. The kitchen is a sturdy dinette that converts to an extra bed. Both benches offer storage underneath, and a large window besides the table opens for the airflow. Now, above the dinette, there's a full run of overhead cabinets with the hidden hinges and magnetic latches, so you can hit the road and hit the Forest Service roads without everything bouncing out. You got a 12-volt TV mounted that's got can swivel towards the dinette, or it can swivel towards the Murphy bed. In the rear corner, you got the double over double bunks. Now here you've got these bunks that measure 44 by 74 inches, so they are beds that can handle even adults. Each one gets its own light, a window, and a USB port. The bottom bunk flips up to reveal a rear adventure door. This is similar kind of to what we have in my Ember with the missile, and allows you to load in some bikes, chairs, fishing gear, other stuff straight in from the outside. Now next to the bunk you have a bathroom that's fairly large for a trailer this narrow. You've got a functional vanity storage, medicine cabinet, you got the upgraded shower enclosure, plenty of headroom. You've got a 4-speed high-powered fan with a rain cover, so this thing can actually move some air. You've got the on-demand tankless water heater, which provides continuous hot water. That's considered a major upgrade over a traditional 6-gallon tank. The trailer has a 15,000 BTU air conditioner, and the underbelly is enclosed, heated, and lined with foil. Each tank has a 12-volt heating pad for the cold weather protection. Motion-activated lighting and USB-C ports are around the trailer inside and out. And if you hop up on top, you'll see a solar panel. Different models come with different setups. This one's got a couple of panels up top. The construction features a welded aluminum frame, the laminated walls with Azdel composite panels, and a fully walkable PVC roof. You get slam latch cargo doors, you get night lighting, you have a hot and cold outside spray port. You get all-terrain tires with tire pressure monitoring system. And of course, it has the Curt Independent Suspension, or what NOBO calls Beast Mode. This to me is what really makes it stand out. This is why I'm here looking at the NOBO. And this is what makes me wonder that today, if I was to get a new trailer, would I get this or an Ember, which is my current trailer? The NOBO 19.3, it's compact, it's rugged, it's family ready, it's built for campground comfort and off-pavement exploring. I think I would do things like probably just take out the bunks altogether. It's one of the things I love about my missile the most, is having that extra area in the back. I'd probably try to recreate something like that if I had a trailer like this. And the tankless water heater does make me wonder if that's really a good idea. From what I understand, tankless water heaters work best if you're hooked up, but when you're boondocking, you can only run so much water through your system. You can only carry so much water. So you need to be frugal anyway, and I think that the tankless water heater works best if you're often going to RV parks and hooking directly up to the water and the sewer while you're parked and staying there. So having looked at the NOBO, it's impressive. The inside, has the modern look. I'm going to be kind of honest. When it comes to the inside of RVs, so many of them seem a bit the same to me. They're all built often under, the same 5 or 6 companies that own the brands that run the companies. And this isn't a knock on the NOBO. It looks like how I would expect. It's nice inside. It's up to date. It's modern. I'm glad they're doing things like putting in the USB-C ports. That kind of thing matters. You really want to have the latest, greatest stuff when you're in the NOBO. And even the fact that they put in that continuous tankless water heater. I'm impressed that they did it. Again, I'm not sure that's right for me. I really do like my Truma Combi, even though it's small, even though it only has 2.5 gallons of capacity. It is hyper efficient, and I'm able to get everything I need to get done with that, whether it's dishes or showers. And because I'm off grid a lot, and often when we're camping, we're not hooked up, I don't think I could take full advantage of the tankless water heater. Really long showers doesn't really happen unless you've got one of those recirculation systems. I didn't see that this had that. There are RVs that have a recirculation system, so you can literally have your shower water go out the drain and come back around through your system and back out as warm water in your shower. I don't think this has that. I could be wrong. Please comment below if I'm wrong on that. The tankless water heater to me is as much a minus as it is a plus. And it does have a rubber roof or a PVC roof, however you want to call it. What it is not an Azdel roof. And I really love the Azdel siding on both, whether it's the Ember or the NOBO. But I really do like having that roof that isn't rubber roof. It's Azdel. It can take a bit of a beating. It's really loud when it rains, I'll tell you that. But it's something that I actually kind of enjoy and I'm happy about. So the lack of a rubber roof definitely makes me lean towards the Ember. I'll tell you one thing, whether today I would get an Ember, a NOBO, or another brand, either way, I'm almost certainly replacing the mattress. You know how every RV comes with a terrible mattress? Ours was no exception. thin, floppy, and basically useless. So for this trip, we finally upgraded to a Tokta Utopia, a custom RV mattress made just for our weird Murphy bed dimensions. We gave them the measurements, picked our firmness, and they shipped it ahead of us to a UPS access point on our route. That's right, we picked it up mid-trip right in Hinton, Alberta, unboxed it in the trailer, and bam, it's amazing. Comfortable, folds perfectly, and somehow it opened up even more storage in our Murphy bed than we had before. A huge thanks to Tokta for making this possible. Honestly, this is the first time we've ever slept well in the RV. So let me just get to it, right? In the end, if I had all things being equal, and I had a NOBO and an Ember right next to each other, the same rough size, you're always comparing apples to oranges. It's hard to compare the models directly. But if I was to put these two together, I'd still probably lean towards the Ember a little bit. And that's probably a little bit just because the aesthetics at this point. I really like the look of the Ember Overland series. I've grown really comfortable with it. It's my trailer. And so I'm a little biased, right? But one of the important qualifiers to where you're going to buy an RV, at least for me, is can I buy it locally? And unfortunately, there's been a little bit of a change with the Ember, the one I bought before, and it's not available to me locally. It's available over on Vancouver Island, which on a map looks like it's pretty close here to Vancouver where I live. But in fact, it takes a lot of money and time to get on a ferry over to the island. It can cost hundreds of dollars round trip, really can get into the $300 and $400 depending on which ferry you go on. If you've got a longer trailer to take it on the ferry, it is expensive. You've got to make reservations. You've got to figure out some place to stay. So every time I would take it in for a warranty repair, I'd have to go over to Vancouver Island. That just wouldn't work for me. So as a result, if I was to buy a new trailer today, here at the end of 2025 and the beginning of 2026, here in the lower mainland area of British Columbia, I would actually probably lean towards the NOBO. I hate to say it. I love the Ember, but I need to be able to have it locally serviced and locally liable for a local dealer, right? I want my local dealer to be on the hook to make sure this thing works for me. That worked really well for me through my Ember years, my first years of ownership. And even though they don't have that dealer on their network anymore, that is why I'd have to skip it. Now, if I was living somewhere where I had both NOBO and Ember available to me locally through local dealers, it'd be a real tough choice. I think at that point it would come down to finance. I would really have to look at how each of them are priced and where do I feel like I could get more wiggle room on them. I feel like you could probably get away with a little bit more savings or a little bit more bargaining power on a NOBO. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of competitive ones probably in the same region. Whereas when you're buying an Ember, you're often going to the only dealer that is in your area that sells them. And so that limits your flexibility to be able to walk away from the deal. So as I go on and on, if you haven't figured out yet, the answer is I would go with the Ember if I could buy it locally and it was, not priced much worse than the NOBO. But I would today, in fact, because there is no way for me to buy an Ember locally right now, I would likely look at the NOBO. A biggest part of this was the Curt Independent Suspension. That's one thing I've come to realize. It was one of the big three reasons I bought the Ember. And since I've owned these, it's become one of the biggest factors in my towing experience. There's been multiple times where I left a soda on the counter by accident when we were stepping out of the trailer and getting back in the truck. And then I'd pull over and, not going off road or anything, but just, regular road driving. I'd pull over at the next stop. We'd hop in the back and there was my soda still sitting there on the counter. I even tried to do a video when I first got the Ember where I set up a camera in the Ember to show how crazy the ride was. And I put like a bunch of stuffed animals out, hoping that they would all fall off and roll around. And things just didn't move around. I had to reshoot it and do another shoot with a bunch of balls and beach balls because that was the only way I could show the movement of the trailer because it was way, way smooth. And I just didn't expect that. So that Curt Independent Suspension makes me wonder if it's that smooth, if I'm riding basically on bubble wrap is what it feels like, a nice air cushion, then do I need to have such a strong trailer on top of the chassis? That's really the question. Now, in the end, it's never going to hurt to have a trailer that's built a little stronger than you need it. And I feel that about the Ember. I feel like with its exoskeleton, it's stronger than you need it. I've seen photos of one tipped over on the freeway. It didn't even look like it deformed at all. It was pretty much the same square, just on its side. It really does make me think that having an overbuilt trailer isn't the worst thing. However, if it turns out the NOBO is coming in at a cheaper price, and that's what you're paying for, well, I'd say as long as you're getting the Curt Independent Suspension, you're getting your money's worth right there. That's the part that's most valuable to me on these rides. And overall, the NOBO is a reputable brand. I know a lot of people with them. I haven't heard a lot of bad things about them. Sure, you can always find somebody complaining about something on the internet, but overall, the NOBO has been a pretty reputable brand. It comes down from some reputable, parent corporations. And if you've got a good dealer behind you, like Fraserway or someone like that, then you know you're good to go with that warranty. And that's the part that matters the most, right? All RVs come with some issues. The trick is that they all come with warranties. And if you're diligent about testing your RV early and getting it in for warranty repairs early and documenting it and being nice and cooperative with your dealer, you will find that by the time your warranty expires, anything that was going wrong with your RV should be resolved. So yeah, think about the NOBO. Hate to say it. I mean, I'm an Ember fanboy, but the NOBO has always stood out to me, and it's just gotten better and better as it's gotten more developed over the years. In the end, I'm a real big fan of the independent suspension. I have a lot of faith in the Curt Independent Suspension, and for that reason, I definitely recommend that whichever trailer you get, make sure it has one of those, whether it's NOBO or Ember. And if you've checked out either, I want to hear your comments below. What do you think of either one? Have you had experience with one? Are you an owner of one? Do you regret it? Do you love it? Let me know. And if you're here in Canada and you want to take a look at one, check out Fraserway. They've got dealerships all across the country. I bought my first trailer in Canada from them, and they were nice enough to let me go around and film in their dealership. They've got dealerships all over the country here in Canada. A lot of them are close to the border, so even if you're in the U.S. and one of the border states, you might want to think about checking out Fraserway because, well, the U.S. dollar goes a lot farther up here. Stay tuned for more videos coming. I've got another walkthrough of a really cool 4x4 motorhome coming up shortly. And keep your eyes out for some upcoming Zoom sessions. Starting with December 4th, I'll be doing a live Zoom session for all of my Joe's Road Trippers, for everyone who subscribed to the Joe's Road Tripper Patreon page. It's only $5 to become a Joe's Road Tripper, and then you get to join the Zoom session. Stay tuned for that video coming soon.